Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for taking the time to join me on today's
Of course.
episode of The Touch Base.
Of course.
Just decided right before this, that's what I'm going to call this.
Yes, I love it.
Because it's a touch base between
It's a touch
us.
base.
Way for me to touch base with the team. And as I explained to you, just kind of, one, give us a platform to talk our talk, but also give people an opportunity to get an understanding of us, who we are as agents, highlight you, and the superstar that you are, and everybody in that respect. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to our conversation. As you know, I got a couple questions here.
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you?
I'm ready.
All right, so we'll come right out the gate.
All right.
So, first off, you want to tell the people who you are, for those who don't know?
Hello, guys. I'm Maiyah Florial. I am a realtor and accredited buyer representative with Xander Realty Group, and I have been here since February 2024.
Word. For those of you guys who don't know, I am Kyle Zine. I'm the broker and CEO of Xander Realty Group. I've been in the real estate industry for about 10 years now. I've had the company for about 4 going into year 5. And I'm just excited to be here with you guys today.
Me too.
So now we can get to it. What inspired you to pursue a career in real estate? And then after that, how did you end up here?
Okay. So real estate is kind of something I've always had my eye on. My mom was an avid HGTV watcher, so I was kind of always seeing it on TV, and it just looked like a career I would enjoy. I ended up not going that route. I was a preschool teacher, and I worked in childcare from the age of 14 all the way up until the age of 21.
Wait, so you was teaching preschool at 14?
I worked in childcare. Eventually, that led to teaching
Okay, I was about to say,
preschool.
wait a minute.
Imagine. But no, so I've been working for a long time. I've always had that kind of work ethic instilled in me, but it got to a point where I knew that in childcare, I wasn't going to get where I wanted to be in life by doing that. It was fulfilling purpose-wise, but not really financially. So I was thinking of other ways I can just help people, but also, be able to drive my own legacy. And real estate really was that for me.
Dope. Well, glad that you found real estate as that path.
Yes.
It's kind of similar to myself. I don't know what I was going to do. I just knew I wanted to make a lot of money. I didn't know how I was going to do that. And then I got introduced to real estate. And as I continued to do my research, it was kind of obvious, okay, there's something here. It's an opportunity. Let me try to see if I can really realize it. And the rest is history.
And my dad's in demo and contracting, so it's just something I've always kind of been around and had interest in.
But now you can just keep it all in the family.
So how I got to Xander, quite
How
a
did you
journey.
end up here?
All right. So back in December of 2023, I graduated college. I got a business management degree. Thank you. And I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, with my degree, but I had my real estate license. Now, I wasn't really using it for long. I joined another brokerage just because someone recommended it to me. I didn't interview brokerages. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that they offered different things. I didn't know that there were brokerages like Xander that offered training. I had no idea. So I joined there, and it was great for a while. I did rentals there, so I didn't do any sales, but I did really well in rentals, but I knew after I graduated, I wasn't going to make much money doing that as my career. And I was also working in pharmacy, so there was just a lot going on career-wise.
All over the place.
I was all over the place, but I was trying to find that one path. And so I watched a YouTube video on how to get clients, and they said, do buyer consults. So I said, okay, I could do that. So I do a couple buyer consults, and these are just people that I either knew or found on social media. I ended up connecting with Bradley, who I ended up bringing here. One of my clients, he was looking for an off-market for his mom. And it was great. We did the consult. I did really well, actually, I would say, for my first time, because I did a lot of research going into it. And we found some off-markets. One of the off-markets was listed by you and Randall. And an investor actually sent it to me, my friend Cam, shout out Cam. And he said, you know what? When you go and talk to these people, you should really talk to them about their business. I think you would be a great fit over there. I'm like, okay. Well, I didn't know that Randall and Kyle already had the motive to try and recruit me
I'll
as
be
well.
honest with you. So I was going to say, I'll be honest with you. So I think we had posted about it. I forget. We might have posted about the property in like a Facebook group or on our page or something. And I think the gentleman Cam reached out, or I think he commented or mentioned you on the post, and then
that's
you
how
reached
we
out
connected.
and you shot a DM. And I went and I looked at your page because obviously I'm like, who's this young lady she's reaching out about? I went and looked at your page and I'm like, oh, she's active. Like
I was posting, like I was doing everything YouTube told me to do to get clients. So that's why it looked like I was just like killing it, and it was
so it's
me
funny.
trying to get clients.
I sent the screenshot to Randall and I was like, hey, like reach out to her. She's reaching out about this property. And then I want to say like 30 seconds later, I texted him back and I'm like, and get her too.
Yeah, and it worked. And it worked. So I came into the office, and the day I came in, I'm thinking I'm there to talk about the property. I think this is normal because I don't know how it goes. Like, I don't know if this could be a simple phone conversation. It's not really normal per se to like go into their office. I don't know. But I came and like immediately I knew this was the type of environment I wanted to be in, and I hadn't even thought about switching until I came here. So everyone was cold calling, like everyone was here that day. It was super active in the office. People were getting trained, people were doing consults, like there was just so much going on. And even the fact that there was an office location, because at my last brokerage, I think they have an office now, but they didn't when I worked there. And that was a huge thing for me because a lot of children live at my house, and that was very hard to work with under those conditions.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of looking for somewhere I could go and work that wasn't Starbucks. So when I came in, Randall was like, you know what, you should think about joining our team. Why don't you just come out with us to our brokerage, outing?
The team outing, yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I talked to my partner. He's like, you should go get a feel for how they are as people, then make your decision. Because both of us were like, oh, I don't want to like switch brokerages without giving that brokerage really a chance because I just got into like sales. But then that outing, I was like, this is where I need to be. Like, it was just so family oriented. I felt like I already knew all you guys. Like, it was just such a good night right off the bat that I was like, yeah, this is where I need to be. And after that, the switch was...
It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Like...
Nah, I gotta admit, like, once you walked in, this is before I knew you, I was like, yo, Randall, go get her, but that was because of just your presence on social media. Obviously, you know, you do a great job with that, I tell you all the time. But, obviously, once interacting with you and speaking with you, your hunger, your drive, your determination is something not to be minimized. It's something that somebody should not miss. Yeah. And I've kind of realized that my position as a broker is obviously to just keep a place for lights, to keep lights on and afford you a place to do business and things like that. But I also internalize, like, if you can recognize a certain skill set in a person, you have to be able to put them into position. You got to make sure you get them the information that they need to be successful or to get to that next level. And you had the work ethic. You had the determination. It was just, all right, you needed a little bit of guidance or a point in the right direction.
Some coaching.
Yeah, so after we had those first couple conversations, it was like a no-brainer. Like, okay, I not only are you active and I want you over here, but I do see where we can help and where we can help you excel. Aside from having off-market properties to sell to your buyers.
Exactly. And we did close an off-market property with that buyer, all in-house, so that was perfect.
Hey, that's what we do. All right, cool. So I'll say, can you describe the company culture here? And what aspects of it do you appreciate the most?
I definitely appreciate the most the family aspect, because for me that's super important. I grew up in a big family. I now obviously, like, my boyfriend is in a big family, so it's just I'm always surrounded by that. I want work to feel like that as well. I don't want work to feel like somewhere I dread going. You know what I mean? I want to wake up and just feel like I'm just going to another place to like hang out and get stuff done, basically. So definitely that, and then just also like the motivation and support we all have for each other. Like, I always am telling my clients, when you hire me, like, you're hiring my whole team. If I cannot be there, or if you just, you know, for whatever reason need another recommendation, like, we have that here. Like, Diane did an inspection for me this morning so I could go do a consult, and I feel like that's something you just don't find at a lot of places. And also, like, the accountability. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, I got Randall, you, Monique, Diane, all on my back making sure I'm doing it, and I need that. So that's very important to me as well.
For sure.
But overall, just a family. And I feel like we've gotten a lot of feedback, especially from the gala, that people really see that.
Yeah, I was just, it's funny you said, I was just getting ready to say, like, since the gala, I've had so many people reach out to me and say like, hey, like the energy that your team has, just how you guys support each other, how everybody was clapping for one another, even though obviously we compete, but it's a
Right.
familial competition. Like we're family, we want to see each other win, just not more than me.
Right.
But like it's
as long as one of us are winning, we're all winning.
yeah,
That's
as long
what
as
it is.
long as you win, I win. Same thing, vice versa, all over the place. But it's just you just can't match that energy. I've been in this industry for 10 years, and it's hard to get realtors to pick up your phone call, let alone to cheer for you and actually be happy. There's been a couple milestones that I've hit in my life and my career where people have reached out and congratulated me, but it's not that often.
Right.
So that's why I'm big on energy and just wanting to connect people. I want to make sure that we all know each other. That's why I'm big on doing the team outings. That's why obviously we're big on doing the gala and creating that moment where we celebrate each other's accomplishments and things like that. So it was very heartwarming for me to see that, but then also to understand that other people seeing and understand that. So that was dope.
Yeah. I feel like in sales in general too, I know it's not just real estate. It's really hard to find authenticity, especially amongst people. Like you said, there's people who will congratulate you, but then they'll turn around and do something that works against you. And I feel like just here, like we just don't have that. And that's so hard to come by, especially as we grow. And we've grown as a team a lot this year.
For sure.
And the fact that we've kept that energy is important.
1,000. But even the flip side of that is it's not all roses either. Like we are a family, so we have our
we all butt heads for sure.
We have our disputes, but
Yes.
at the end of the day, we know that we're a family. We know that a lot of it comes from, well, majority of it comes from wanting to see each other win. So statements may be made some out of frustration and things like that, but it's because we're trying to make each other be better. We're calling each other out on our stuff, and that accountability is needed. Sometimes when you add in our age bracket and demographic, people don't want to be held accountable. People don't want to do work. They want instant gratification.
Exactly.
And we've realized and tapped into something that shows that you can get the instant gratification, but there's work that comes with it.
Right.
And we know that we're going to hold each other accountable to make sure that we see each other reach the finish line.
And that adds to the authenticity again, too. Like, you want people to tell you where you went wrong, because at the end of the day, it does make you better.
For sure. All right, so what are your short-term and long-term goals in your real estate career? And how do you see either myself or Xander Realty helping you achieve them?
I feel like that's a hard one, honestly, because so many of my goals that I had for this year and even that I have for 2025 are already getting accomplished, or I'm already seeing the fruits of that. One of my big goals this year obviously was to just hit a certain sales mark, and I think in the beginning of the year I probably told you like 600,000 or something stupid, and I ended up doing 1.66 million. And for me, my first year in sales, like that's huge, you know. I'm sure there's other agents who did way more, but I also know 75% of agents this year made 0 sales. So for me, that's really big. My goal for 2025 is to double those sales, and I already have enough closings anticipated. Hopefully everything goes well, that's already happening. So
it's written. It's already written.
It's written, and I feel like that's just due to the support that I have here, the information I'm able to get here, the guidance. Like there's never not something that I can't just go ask you or Randall for help with and you guys won't do it. And then also,
tell you, Addison, like I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm really, really proud of you. I gotta just throw that out there.
Yes, I feel like I'm such a different person than when I first joined the team. I've grown so much, I've matured so much, I've learned so much, and that really was my main goal. And I feel like I've done it, and it's just gonna be up from here. And then another goal of mine is to, own my own investment property. Me and my partner, we have one together, but now one just under my name, and that again, hopefully all goes well, is happening.
It's already
I'm not gonna announce yet, but once this is out, it will be announced. So, yeah, everything's already happening. So
that's dope. I'm proud of you.
Just to keep going.
But that just goes to show kind of what we do here is speak it into existence, write it down, let's talk about it, let's see what it is, and then let's make it happen. Because a lot of times I've learned people will go out and they'll just try to do things, but they don't know what they're trying to do. They're just kind of aimlessly wandering around and just hoping something will happen that may be positive. what do you want to happen? What do you want out of this life? What do you want out of this career? I mean, you know, that's, we started, like, the first questions that we started asking you was like, all right, well, what do you want? And that's how you were able to outline these different goals, whether they was still broad or not as specific or not isn't really the problem, but it's more so just, it's important to know what you want out of this and where you want to take it, and then we can map everything else out. So I'm glad to hear that you're already hitting your goals. So that means we might
already hitting them. Like, I don't know what is
we
next.
might have to reforecast.
I think we do. Yeah.
All right. So, let's go. What challenges have you faced in your career, and
so many.
What improvements would you like to see here to help you overcome those?
Okay. Well, that's probably when I have to think about it a little bit. The biggest challenges for me was probably stress management, because I didn't realize how much you take on as a realtor. Like, I know people say, oh, we're not just door openers, and you know going into it you have a little bit more to do than that, but you don't realize truly how much it involves.
Or just even what you got to think about, just writing up a contract.
And so then you run into all these scenarios that happen that might like hinder a closing or hinder a transaction, or just having clients back out of transactions in general, things like that you don't expect.
That is so frustrating.
It's very frustrating as a new realtor, because you're just like, I just want to help these people and they're not listening, or I just want to help these people or hit these certain goals and it's not happening, and just figuring out how to... The base level of it is,
I just need to pay my bills.
Exactly. Like,
the base level.
Figuring out like how to cope with that, and it does get easier. How you guys can help with that, I guess, is, I feel like you guys already do it though, like just checking in, like making sure we're okay, besides just how are these transactions going, you know what I mean? And like I said, you guys already do that pretty much, but I think I've gotten better at it, and now when things happen, I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's just a little road bump.
Yeah,
you know?
But I think that also comes with experience as well, is understanding what are big road bumps, what are kind of small hiccups. Because in the beginning, it's very easy to, oh my God, like everything's about to end. We didn't get to earn this money. You know what I mean? But then you start to realize, like, wait a minute, we're people. Okay, yes, a mistake was made. It needs to be acknowledged, but we can address it and we can move past it as long as everybody's on the same page. And then also just knowing, you know, us as the professionals, we could be panicking all day, but we have to kind of keep that calm. And
I think I had to learn that too, not presenting it to the clients, because they're just going off of whatever you're giving them. They don't know really what's going on behind the scenes, so you just have to always keep that composure. And before you go to your client about it, just go to your broker about it to avoid that.
Well, just have have a conversation. I always say, you should go to your broker, but it's talk to somebody who can help you get the information. I always say this all the time. It's okay to learn on the job. Just don't let the client know that you're doing it. If you're going to do it and you're going to ask somebody who has the information, because at the end of the day, your job isn't to know everything. Your job is to be able to find the information, to be a resource to the source or anything like that. So you don't have to have all the answers, and I tell people that all the time. Just go talk to somebody that does, so you can get some help and you can properly advise your client.
And I feel like here, having a mentor, you never have to wonder who that person is, because I know, obviously I didn't have much time at a previous brokerage, but I've heard in other people's experience that when they get into that type of situation, it's like now they're either going to the listing agent or Google, and it's not a good reflection on.
If you got the listing agent teaching you how to do your deal,
they're gonna recruit you first off, but
they're gonna recruit you. But I promise you, your client's probably gonna get the short end of that deal.
Yes, and they're probably not gonna want to work with you again. But.
Well, they'll probably want to work with your new boss.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any advice that you would give to new agents that are thinking of getting in the industry, or definitely agents that are in the industry but considering looking for a new brokerage?
Yes. So, definitely number one, whether you're looking to get into real estate or join a new brokerage or whatever the case may be, is to find somewhere with a mentorship program like ours. That is, like, I feel like just the biggest thing, because like I said, you want to be able to have someone you can go to when those things pop up. You want to be able to just see things with your own eyes before you go and do it, like for instance cold calls or consults or anything. It's great to learn from YouTube, but it's a whole different experience when you're learning from someone who's in the room with you, if that makes sense. So that's the biggest thing for me is mentorship. And then after that is having accountability partners. That can be someone in the mentorship program. That can be your mentor. That can be someone who just kind of maybe also in sales. Doesn't necessarily have to be real estate, but just someone that you can hold each other accountable with.
It's funny you say that.
For me, that's like the biggest.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was actually, especially the accountability partner thing. Like I was just talking to an agent at another company last night actually, and you know, I'm talking to him about his business. He's like, hey, you know, I want to do X, Y, Z, and I'm like, well, what's missing? And he's like, well, I got to get more consistent, and he plans to be more consistent by changing his actions, and I'm like, okay, that sounds great. Who do you have as your accountability partner? Who is your support system? Who is going to check in with you to make sure that you're doing what it is that you say you're going to do? And not that he can't do it, but we know that, one, you definitely have to have accountability. You have to have a support system of people that support you. And if you're absent of both of those, then your why needs to be so absolutely powerful that you do not ever renegotiate with yourself again. Because if people have a consistency problem, you're consistently renegotiating with yourself. You say you're going to do something, and then when that time comes, you choose not to.
Exactly.
And he had no accountability partner. I'm like, hey, dude, like, whether you join my office or not, I'd be willing to be your accountability partner because it's that important. I've been the successful agent with a support system, but I've been a successful agent without it. I did 10 times better when I had a support system.
Exactly. And it can just be simple reminders. Like, it doesn't even have to be someone asking you, did you hit these certain goals, or like really just on your back. But it's like, okay, if I said I'm gonna, you know, make 8 calls today, just ask me at the end of the day, did I make 8 calls today? Because now I don't want to go back to you and tell you I did not make those 8 calls. Like, you know, so just something like that. It really doesn't have to be that serious, but just having that, because we all have accountability within ourselves, but to an extent, you know. For sure.
And hey, that's why we're here, is to help each other see each other win, but just don't win more than me, okay?
We'll see.
All right, so let me see. What else I got here? What challenges have you faced recently, and what strategies have you implemented to overcome them?
Recently.
Or
I would say, actually, the biggest thing recently has been finding inventory in this market is very difficult, especially for buyers who just qualify for things. Like, you know, you'll give them 2 houses at the same price point, and one they can afford way over and one they can afford way under. So learning how to, bring the lender the right information, I feel like I already knew how to do, but vouching those properties before doing so, to ensure that you're bringing them good properties to run numbers on, but then also just finding ways to source properties that are not on the market, because that's one of the biggest ways you can increase inventory for your clients. So I've done off-market deals in the past, but really sourcing those yourself is a whole different ballgame. I feel like that's been the biggest challenge, and I'm still working on that. I still have one client where, man, that shit is difficult, but it will happen.
You got it. All right, now my last question for you. What skills do you believe are essential for success in real estate, and how are you working to improve in those areas?
Okay, perfect. First and most important skill is being coachable. If you can't learn in this business and just not act like a know-it-all, because none of us know everything, especially in this business, there's way too much to know, you won't succeed. You're just going to hold yourself back. So being open to learning, and knowing too that you can learn from anybody. Like, it doesn't matter if they haven't done any sales or they've done 10 times more sales than you. There is always something you can learn from every person in the room. So keeping that in mind as well. Aside from being coachable, I would say just having general people skills. I feel like you'd be very surprised at
we actually just did a training on that. Was it this week? So.
Like, how many people just are not pleasant to talk to? Like, you know, just those things matter. The tone of your voice, or just how you approach people, how you answer people's questions.
Your appearance too.
The defensiveness that some people have, like, you know, just lose that. Just remember, like, everyone's human. Understand people's frustrations. Understand that these are huge life-changing decisions that people are making and that we're helping with. So just that. And then definitely appearance. I don't look my best today, but most days I try to, put it on that way. It helps you feel confident. And confidence is also like a huge one. Because you want people to at least think that you know what you're doing and trust that, even when you don't. So having confidence helps with that. 100%. So yeah, I guess being coachable. What was the second one I said? People skills. Being coachable, people skills, and then confidence. And the way I'm working on those 3 things, I feel like I've been trying to learn every single day. Asking questions that before maybe I wouldn't ask, or I'm just going out of my way to do certain research. I feel like I've been saying a lot of like videos in the chat and stuff.
You have.
Going to more events, that's something I still struggle with because I hate driving into Boston. They tend to all be there. But I've been doing better.
Driving at night.
And I hate driving at night. I'm always going to crash every night.
She canceled on us at an event because
multiple
she didn't
times.
want to drive. Yeah.
I'd be scared. I'd be having gut feelings like I'm going to die. So.
And I make her feel bad.
I'm working on that
time.
Still.
But in a nice way. I do it in a nice way.
So starting to do that. And then confidence, I feel like that's something we're all working on every single day. I do feel confident. I feel like, especially where I'm at now in my career, I feel confident to even just give people advice and advise people through transactions. But
and you've been doing,
every day it gets better.
You've been stepping up a ton, like even starting that the study group for the young ladies, or just there's a bunch of young ladies in there right now, but even young gentlemen, if you guys want to get your real estate license, we now have a study group where we're helping people prepare for their test, whether you're in school, thinking of starting the school, or have finished the course and just want to prepare for the test. Maiyah has taken it up, and she's been helping people prepare and get prepared for the industry. So.
Yes, so I am hosting that every week. We can release the details once they are super concrete. We keep switching days, but there is a virtual option, and you can also come by our office and stow in if that works better for you. But that's just, my way of not just giving back, but doing things I wish I had when I was at that point. So if there's more ways I can try and do that throughout my career, then I know I'm doing good.
No, 1,000%. I've learned you got to give back. You got to find ways to give back. Me finding my way to give back is starting the brokerage, all the opportunities and things that we try to put together.
Like G-Bar.
Yeah, yes, that volunteering. But I'm talking about just in the sense of like for my team. It's back to what you were saying about trying to give what you didn't necessarily have. When I was starting out, I had a great relationship with my broker. He was great, but we didn't necessarily have the hands-on training. We didn't necessarily have the environment that we have here. And a lot of that derived from what I was missing where I was at.
Exactly.
So it's dope that you say that that's why you do what you do. Let's continue to do this. Let's continue to give back. I need you to continue to be great because I want to continue to be proud of you. I just, I got to thank you for joining this family.
Yes,
thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I got to, before we get out of here, I have to like super, super, super duper congratulate you. For a hell of a year. Like you had a hell of a year for a first year. I want to see you come back and either get that top producer award next year.
I told Jeff I'm going for MVP. Sorry, Jamal.
MVP.
Who was it? You were here?
It was Jamal that won MVP. I want to see either Rising Star, top producer, or something. Something got to have your name on it.
Something's going to happen.
All right?
Definitely. That's definitely one of my goals, for sure.
All right, so we're going to write that on the list.
We're going to write that on the list.
End the year with a trophy.
End the year with a trophy.
Are you going to end the year with a trip?
I am going to end the year with a trip to Turks and Caicos, even if I'm by myself. My +1.
Man, me and Randall are going to enjoy it this year.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
It's okay. Next
All you had to do was sell $8 million.
But yeah.
But no, that's L. You said 1.66 your first year? I think my first year I did.
And I have stuff pending, but
my first year I did
this year.
like 500,000.
Yeah. I sold $1 million house in my first year. So that would be so small without that transaction, but that was the client that I brought here.
I'm officially hating.
Yeah.
You did 1.66 in your first year? I'm hating.
Listen, I told y'all I had some goals this year.
I am hating.
And you know what's crazy? Remember how fast it would have closed, but then I was working with them for months. Y'all, that was a whole nother story time. But
No, that's fire. That is fire.
But I'm proud also of just the experience my clients have had with me. Like, each person has been a repeat client. Like, I've either rented their unit or I have one client, she calls me once a week just crying. Just
Good.
cooking in her kitchen crying. Like, she's in the backyard with her grandkids crying because she's like, this wouldn't have been possible without you. And, like, that just is such a good reminder for me of why I do it. Like, yeah, money can be good. Yeah, like, I like, being on social media and feel like a star or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, the fact that you're just helping people, like, they dreamed about this their whole life, and you just help them do it. Like,
you're changing lives. You're helping people change lives. You're changing trajectories of families. We're helping create generational wealth. It's fulfilling. It's definitely why I get up and do what we do. I'm happy that you feel that, because I think aside from like your personal why, unless your why is tied to that, those are the things that keep you going. At least for me it was. You know what I mean? I've had families call me crying, thanking me, hey, this would have never been possible if it wasn't for you. And I'm not gonna necessarily take the credit for that.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I'm just thankful to be a part of the journey and to know that, they're making decisions that are gonna help benefit them 10, 20, 30 years down the line.
Yeah. I always tell them, like, it's not me. It's your hard work that got you here. But like you said, just to be able to be a part of that journey and assist with it and make sure their interest is also kept. Yeah, that's my why.
Word. All right. Well, I thank you for touching base with me.
Yes.
And I look forward to speaking with you on the next one. All right.